You're beautiful.
So are you.
Well, thank you. Now we got that straight. How does it feel to be the center of so much attention, Carmen? And how did you feel when you heard about this Victoria's Secret's petition and all these people who want you to be the first, I guess, transgender angel?
Yeah. At first, I was like, oh, okay, that sounds cool, but it began to grow like on its own. You know, like, and I was like, let me share it, let me put it out there and say, hey, thanks, guys. And when I did that, it went like crazy. Like everybody started signing it, sending me love, like messages on my Twitter, my Instagram. Like it was this huge. I was just like overwhelmed. Like wow. And now I'm here.
Is this something you've always dreamed of, though, being in a Victoria's Secret's fashion show? Because I imagine for a model, that is kind of the height, right?
Yeah. Well, you know what? If you're going to do something, you might as well aim for the highest.
And have you heard anything from Victoria's Secret?
No. I don't know if they've heard about this story.
So are you optimistic?
I think, yeah, I think so.
Let's talk about how this all started. When you were on Drag Race and still a man, how did you decide you wanted to fully transition and become a woman?
Well, I've always known. Growing up,
how old were you when you...
Oh, God, I was in kindergarten.
Really?
Yeah, and I was in kindergarten, and I was like, you know, I would see all the boys, and I would see, you know, like, wow, they're so cute, I want to kiss them. I was in Catholic school. So that didn't go over well.
And I know that when you decided you would actually transition and become a female, you did it in a very public way. You shared videos on YouTube. You talked about it on television. Why did you want to do it so publicly?
Because, you know, I already had a small fan base with Drag Race. And I had so much love just from my show, just from being, you know, Carmen Carrera, the drag performer. And once my life started to change, I wanted to continue sharing my life.
And now, of course, you're a professional model with a contract with Elite, which I guess is the creme de la creme, right, of modeling agencies.
Yeah, Elite.
Did you ever expect, look at you.
Oh, I mean, look at me. Yeah.
You look, wow.
And you know, and the thing is that I've only been transitioning for a little over 2 years. It takes about 5 or 6 years for some to go through it, you know, completely, because it's you go through the emotions, you go through allowing yourself to just be a woman.
Was the whole process painful physically for you to make this, you know, because there's a lot of surgery involved, a lot of drugs involved, obviously, hormones, etc.
Yeah.
Was it challenging in that way?
No, well, I haven't gotten a lot of surgery done. I just did my nose, I got my breast done, just little things that I've always wanted to do. Nothing that was, you know, that important, honestly. But the medication.
I mean, you still your private parts are different now, aren't they?
I don't want to talk about it because it's really personal, and I don't know. I just think I'd rather talk about my modeling stuff. I'd rather talk about being in W and being, you know, maybe in Italian Vogue and doing fun stuff and showing people that after the transition, there's still life to live. There's still, you know, I still have my career goals. I still have my family goals. I want to have kids. I want to have more kids. You know, like I want to focus on that rather than what's down here, because that's been spoken about so many times, you know, like in other interviews with other trans people, they always focus on either the transition or the genitalia. And I feel like trans people, there are more to trans people than just that.
Yeah, I think probably because it's still a mystery to a lot of people, and I think maybe that's where it comes from. I hope you don't think it's sort of purely an interest, but
yeah, it's that. But you know what it is? At least I can say that people are becoming more interested in learning these days rather than judging without experience.
And that's a good thing.
And that's a great thing, you know, but just me personally, I'd rather just not talk.
I understand that, and I totally respect that. Don't worry.
I think that the preoccupation with transition and with surgery objectifies trans people, and then we don't get to really deal with the real lived experiences. The reality of trans people's lives is that so often we're targets of violence. We experience discrimination disproportionately to the rest of the community. Our unemployment rate is twice the national average if you're a trans person of color. color, it's 4 times the national average. The homicide rate in the LGBT community is highest amongst trans women. And when we focus on transition, we don't actually get to talk about those things. There's a young woman named Ilan Nettles who on August 17th was just walking down the street with some friends, you know, minding her own business, and she was catcalled by a couple of guys. And one of them, once they realized she was trans, she was beaten into a coma, and 5 days later she died. This is the reality of so many trans people's lives in this country, trans women of color whose lives are in danger simply for being who they are. And we're looking for justice for Ilan's murder, and we're looking for justice for so many trans people across this country. And by focusing on bodies, we don't focus on the lived realities of that oppression and that discrimination.